All right, hello traders. What I'm going to show you today is a relationship between Ethereum and Bitcoin and how that determines the price of Bitcoin and other assets and in general global liquidity. There's actually so just a little short summary. Liquidity moves all the markets, and only when you have liquidity can you have bull markets, especially when you want breadth in the markets. So you want the smaller stocks, the cryptos, the altcoins. When you want all of that to do well, it has to be when the system has liquidity in it. And the goal for this video is to try to figure that out. Okay, so what you see is on the left is the ETH/BTC ratio, and on the right was the price of Bitcoin. So this is weekly candles, and now we can see that the ratio is obviously very oversold, right? But what does this mean? So let's look at the last few times when it got oversold and what was the result. So going back to October of 24, we saw it got pretty oversold. And on the right hand side, you can see that's what marked the start of that mini alt season that we had in November. You can say the election was the catalyst. Doesn't matter what the catalyst is. The charts predict the news. So right when this ratio got oversold, it told you ETH outperformance is coming, altcoin outperformance is coming, and then we had this big move in Bitcoin and in general um, breadth in the stock market as well. Right? If you remember, all the stocks, even the smaller ones, were doing well at that point. All right. Now, if we go back some more, in October of 23, again, similar timing, we saw that this ratio got oversold, as you can see down there. And again, these are getting oversold on weekly candles, right? So it is a big deal. Now, once it got oversold, you can see around the very same time, couple weeks plus minus, that started another big rally in Bitcoin, which was eventually followed by ETH outperformance. Right? You can see this entire rally originated down here when the ratio got oversold. And also, if I may add, the main point of this video, around this time is when, so October of 23 is when the stock market bottomed and we had a breadth thrust. When it turned around with all cylinders firing, right? And that's when even the broader market did very well. Going back, you can go back and see for yourself. That's this November low that we had in 23 for stocks. That's what really kickstarted a big move in the stock market. I don't want to make this chart too complicated, but you can see this here. I just loaded the SPY, right? And you can see around the same time, this move that started in November of 23, the market never looked back after that, right? And again, you could have been warned by looking at the ETH/BTC ratio. Now let's go back some more. June of 2022. So this ratio got oversold, and at the very same time, we had a global sell-off, right? Stocks went down, everything went down in June of 22, but that marked the bottom for Bitcoin and also stocks. And I remember very clearly in July, August of 22, we had a massive bear market rally in the stock market. Again, proving the same point that I'm making, that that's when liquidity is coming into the system and we're going to get a breadth thrust and we're going to have a rally in the broader market, which again, you got that signal in June of 22. Going back a little bit more, here in July of 2019, the signal kind of worked, but not as well as expected. So it worked for so we know ETHBTC bottomed out. It went into a sideways performance against Bitcoin. But I think stocks did very well, right? So again, this didn't work as well as expected, and no signal does. But this did tell me when ETHBTC was bottoming out. This did tell you, because I remember that last phase in 2019 before the COVID crash, we did have a nice move in stocks. So, and then going back over here, we got it in 2018 when it got oversold. The ratio got oversold. If you look on the right hand side, that's when Bitcoin also bottomed out, and that was the bottom from there. Right? You can see Bitcoin just took off from there, and so did the stock market. Now, if we see what's happening today, look at how oversold it is. Right? So we can see it's got oversold. So I'm going to assume the same thing. I'm going to assume that Bitcoin has bottomed out, which it seems like it has. And we're going to get a broad-based rally in stocks, which also seems like it has started. Now, how far up does it go? We'll find out. But what we can say is, if ETHBTC has bottomed out, it's oversold, and now Bitcoin has bottomed out and a rally has started, that just means it's high time that Ethereum and the altcoins will start to rally as well. If you just look at this sizable bounce, right? We've got a very nice, these are 4-week rally in Bitcoin. Nothing in Ethereum. Yeah, sure, we had this rally a little bit, but nothing too great in the grand scheme of things compared to the sell-off. It's nowhere close. Whereas Bitcoin, it's recovered. That's about at its 618 retracement. Nowhere close for Ethereum, which is telling me that a rally in Ethereum and therefore altcoins is coming very, very soon. All right. Again, this is way too oversold. I don't think we've seen a reading this oversold in any of these examples that I looked at. Right. So yeah, so we had that in 2019, but this is grossly oversold. Where is it here? 2018. Yeah, it wasn't this bad. This is very oversold, and I am personally bullish altcoins right now, and in general, the broader market. Again, I'm not talking about the SPX. I'm talking about the broader market. Those stocks, I think their time has started, or is going to continue in the near future. All right, thank you, and I hope it wasn't too complicating of a concept. But these markets are interlinked, right? That's the whole idea, to try to figure out a trend somewhere by using these correlations. All right, please leave your feedback down below. Thank you.